Hey, Tidarin.
あの底を流れてる光の行列は何？
I don't even need to check my stream to check that it's live because you are my first indication that I'm live always. Hey, Bea. Alright, here we are. Let's go. Just a bit of a refresher for me. She listlessly gazed down from the balcony with no handrail, down into the darkness of the abyss at the bottom of the bookshelf ravine. Okay, it's starting to come back to me. No, the gap between the bookshelf skyscrapers. From the beginning until the end of my journey, I haven't taken a single step away from this spot. This journey of mine, not even a single step long, will end soon. Okay. Hey, Moth-chan. Lego.
大アウローラ教のパーティーの客人たちの行列でしょ。
客人？
元老院の大魔女たちや退屈から逃れる永遠の旅の途中の航海者たちや数百年の眠りより目覚めた偉大なる大魔女たちから未来世界を牛耳る魔女や魔女狩りの貴族たちまで、今夜は大きなパーティーが催されるようですよ。
お誕生パーティーでもするの？
無限の魔女大ベアトリーチェ教は辺境の魔女なれど、その優れた魔法体系により無限の物語を生み出す無限機関ベアトリーチェの猫箱を生み出した天才魔女だそうです。
Hey, Zeku.
私からすれば爪の甘い間抜け魔女なのですが、どうやら大魔女の世界ではちょいと知られた有名人のようで。
ベアトリーチェの誕生会でもやるわけ？
我が主はベアトリーチェの腹渡でもつ鍋パーティーと言っています。だってそうじゃないですか。一なる真実が存在しないから猫箱は無限の物語を生み続けたのです。しかし今宵あんたの鍵によって一なる真実が明かされます。そしてそれは猫箱が開かれることを意味する。まさにベアトリーチェを生きたまま腹を引き裂いてその中身をぶちまけるのと同じことってわけです。
そのもつ鍋パーティーにあの高速道路の渋滞みたいな大行列は？ベアトリーチェの有名さを驚くべきか、あの連中のゲッサにヘドが出るのが先か。
あんたにとって一なる真実の書の中身は単なるピリオドに過ぎない。でも六軒島ミステリーを感激する者たちにとってはこれは見過ごせないイベントですから。
なるほど。あれはお兄ちゃんのゲーム版を食い破ってたヤギどもの行列というわけなのね。
Andrew's analogy was an accurate one. The crowd far, far below them was made up of nobles wearing beautiful outfits and goat masks. They were also intent on tearing the guts out of Beatrice's catbox that they couldn't even hide the drool trickling from their mouths. Those gluttonous goat nobles, who derived pleasure from violently exposing the truth, were in a line of cars heading towards the meeting place.
猫箱もベアトリーチェもいよいよおしまいなのね。
ベアトたちはゲーム版の最後の食い残し黄金鏡に立てこもってます。バトラとベアトが門番を務め第一陣を壊滅させたようですが、第二陣は防げません。我が主は籠城概念破壊の艦隊を与えられました。黄金鏡の城壁などもはや風前の灯火です。
あの島に湧き出したヤギたちは島に惨劇を望む未来の妄言が具現化したもの。
そうです。あのヤギたちはネットの海からいくらでも生まれてきます。第一陣など所詮は有象無象。第二陣は違います。無数のヤギたちの中から立てこもるすべての駒たち個人個人の否定に特化した 再生鋭から編成しています。総兵力は10万。島に立てこもるほんの数十人を否定するために10万の否定を用意したのです。
お兄ちゃんももうおしまいね。
もう覚悟はされているのでしょう。後宮バトラは1986年に死んでいて、あの彼は猫箱が生み出した幻想であると。
ええ、分かってるわ。
Internet power. Hey, my Baron. Regardless of whether he's my real brother or an illusion, regardless of whether he's who I'd like him to be or not, the battler who created this game board for my sake will die. No, it just means that I'll accept the fact of his death. So it's not like he's going to die now. Hey, Padge. Oh, thank you for the streak. Enja thought to herself, shouldn't performing the last rites for her brother be her responsibility? This was her final trial, which she had assigned to herself. All of those people down on the game board were the personification of Enja's naivety. By denying the existence of all of them, wouldn't she finally be able to accept the truth? I wonder. No, that's not right. I'm not being honest, even with myself. Even if it's all an illusion, it wouldn't make that bizarre Halloween party any less heartwarming. Oni-chan said it himself. That Halloween party may have been an illusion. However, he was trying to use that party to tell me something.
その第二陣は
我が主より私が指揮官を務めるよう仰せつかっています。お任せを、エンジェさん。あなた自らに手を汚させるほど我が主は陰湿ではありません。
Yes, that might be kind of her. These are my lingering attachments we're talking about. I should be grateful to Bruncastle. If she really were cruel, she would probably have ordered me to take charge of the second wave and execute my own family.
どうしエンジェ、あんたは真実の魔女なんですよね。
そうよ、多分。
じゃあ受け入れましょうよ。12年を経てようやく本当の一なる真実を。
私はここでベルンカステルが封印を解き終えるのを気長に待つとするわ。
おそらくはパーティーのゲストとしてあなたは呼び出されるでしょう。姿見はありますので目やにでも取ってたらどうです？
あんたこそ出陣前に無駄毛でも抜いてきなさいよ。
What did I just read? What? Oh wow, okay. It floated in the empty air. The door to the Golden Land. Wait, I really need to... What? You should shave before hitting. What does that mean? Shave what? Okay. The door to the Golden Land. Okay. 1 or 2 square meters of tiled floor still remained in front of the door, scarcely enough to remind a person that this had once been Kinzo's study. By now, all of the game board except the Golden Land had been eaten away, leaving only this door floating in a sea of nothingness. There were 2 figures in front of that door. It was Battler and Beto. They may not have been literally covered with wounds, but they definitely seemed to be dead tired. Battler, leaning against the door, seemed to have finally caught his breath. Beto was also sitting against the door, letting her legs dangle gracelessly. Could the battle against that force really be called a battle? It was more like a mere pushing fight on the increasingly small bit of ground that remained. They had wanted to protect at least Kinzo's study no matter what. And the only fruit of their desperate struggle was the tiny bit of flooring that they were sitting on now. Those goats fell into the abyss whenever they had nowhere to stand. So now, with so much of the floor gone, there was no way for them to attack anymore. If Battler thought this, his naive hopes were quickly crushed.
ゾロリと鳥
増援を集め、今度こそ一度に押しつぶそうという魂胆であろう。
Oof. Stretching across the horizon surrounding the door at their backs was an encirclement of countless large sailing ships. As they could clearly see, the decks of those ships were packed with goats, with some of the more foolish and overeager ones spilling over the edges into the emptiness below. I'm sorry, that's such a ridiculous image in my head. Ah.
すげえな。俺もお前のゲームで随分とおかしな経験をいろいろしてきたが、海賊船に包囲されるってのは初めての経験だぜ。
おそらく黄金鏡の境を打ち破る
Oh
力
god,
を
I
持
was
つの
sick.
あの大砲もハッタリではあるまい。あれでこの扉をぶち抜いて一挙になだれ込もうというに違いあるまい。
Do the cannons shoot goats too? Zeku is hyped, okay. Along the sides of each ship were several open gun ports, each with a cannon pointing at the door. One Piece equals Golden Land. I was thinking more like Villain Saga when I saw the ships. I haven't seen One Piece. If all the ships surrounding them were joined by even more, and all of those ships fired all of their cannons at once, there was no point trying to imagine what would happen next. Battler and Beto grimaced and hung their heads.
あの大砲を前に黄金鏡の境はどの程度持ちこたえる？
わからぬ。ただあれだけの数を揃えているのにまだ援軍を待つということは、おそらくそうやすやすと敗れはしないのだろう。
確かに降伏勧告もしないで攻撃の手を休める理由はそれしか考えられねえな。
奴らが与えるこの時間が我らに有利に生かせれば良いのだがな。
劣勢な側にとって時間はいつだって味方さ。何かの奇跡を期待できるからな。
あるいはさらなる絶望を知ることにもなろうか。
At that moment, something small and hard hit Battler in the forehead.
いて、なんだこりゃ。コンペイト？
Completo!
私よ。
Ah! Oh, this is so cute. There's like a crossover in my mind because we were watching Kobato at dinner time. So yeah, Completo. It has a completely different meaning, but okay.
わかったわよ。ベルンたちの居場所が。
The Completo candy was Lambda Delta's transformed body. Oh, okay. She was the only one of their allies capable of crossing the Sea of Fragments. Oh, baby.
おお、さすがは大ラムダデルタ卿。
ここじゃ奴らに姿を見られるわ。中で話をしましょう。一筋縄じゃいかないことになってるわ。
わかった。誰かいるか？
When Battler knocked on the door, it opened, and Shannon and Kanon came into view.
はい。お呼びですか？
すまぬが見張りを頼む。
お任せを。
奴らが攻撃を開始したら戦う必要はない。すぐに黄金鏡に逃げ込め。扉を閉めなくていい。
しかしそれでは。
奴らは扉なんか無視して直接黄金鏡をぶっ壊す気だ。ここで仁王立ちしてたってもう何も防ぐことはできやしない。
わかりました。
ここは僕たちに任せて中で対策を。
うん。しばらく頼むぞ。
Battler and Beato traded places with Shannon and Canon, returning to the Golden Land. A gentle rain poured down over the Golden Land rose garden. The Golden Land's weather reflected the hearts of those inside it. The quietly falling raindrops spoke for the pain felt by those who could do nothing but hide here, waiting for the enemy's final assault. When they returned to the arbor, the Competo flew out of Battler's pocket, jumped onto the table, and returned to its original form.
まさか魔女にもなってこんなハラハラした目に遭うなんて夢にも思わなかったわ。
それでエンジやベールンカステルたちは一体どこに？
図書の都よ。
聞いたことがあります。海を渡る偉大なる魔女たちが集めたさまざまなかけらを書物に記し保管した地があると。
Interesting.
尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女により厳選されし、名誉ある図書の都。
That's such a long thing. It is the noble city of carefully selected books that belongs to the great witch of theater going, drama, and spectating. That's what it is written there.
大アウローラ教は図書の都の主だ。なるほど。妥当な場所であるな。しかし、さすがはラムダデルタ教ね。無数に想定された隠れ家からこんなにも早く居場所を突き止められるなんて。
それがね、簡単に分かっちゃったわ。分かるも何も向こうで大々的に宣伝をしているわ。無限の魔女大ベアトリーチェ教の猫箱の秘密大公開パーティーって
ね。なるほどな。奴らがまだ攻めてこぬ理由は援軍待ちではなくパーティーの式次第のせいらしい。
そのパーティーとやらでエンジェの鍵を使って一なる真実の書を公開するということなのか。
Imagine that they went through all of this effort, and there's no single truth in that book.
そういうことね。アウローラは久しぶりのイベントなんで各界から賓客を集めて大パーティーを催してるわ。一なる真実の書はそのパーティーの最後の目玉になるでしょうね。
エンジェと鍵を取り戻すチャンスはまだあるってことか。
時間的猶予という意味ではね。ただとてもシンプルかつ当然な問題が。
なんだ？
図書の都は元老院の管理下にある聖域よ。神聖な結界が張られている。元老院の魔女以外は踏み入ることさえできない。
パーティーの招待客には元老院に席を持たぬ者もいるのでは？
いるわ。そういう連中には特別に聖域に踏み入ることを許可する招待状が与えられてるみたい。
招待状。
これは面白くなってきましたな。
と私も思ったわよ。ところがこの招待状、遅刻厳禁でパーティー開始時刻までに入場受付をしてないと自動的に効果を失う優れもの。そしてお気の毒なことについさっきパーティーは始まっちゃったわ。
つまり遅刻した来客の誰かから招待状を奪うという手はもう手遅れということか。
そういうことで、どうすんのこれから。誰かポップコーンもらえる？今度はキャンディーフレーバーがいいわ。
門外漢で恐縮だがもはやお手上げに思えるね。
私たちはもうおしまいなのですね。ここで座ったまま奴らが襲ってくるまで待ってるしかないの。何かできることがあるはずだわ。そうね、私たちにできることは一つだけあるわ。
それは1分1秒でも悪あがきして奇跡を待つことや。
奇跡？
つまりこいつはアラモの砦ってわけさ。
私たちに幸福はない。できるのは
1分1秒でも持ちこたえて奇跡が起こるのを待つことだけで。
ウリュウ、奇跡って何？エンジェが何かの理由で気が変わってここへ戻ってくる可能性が何百万分の1の確率であるかもしれない。
そのような極小の確率の末ならば、それは確かに奇跡と呼べるであろうな。
私たちはエンジェさんの帰りを待つためにここにいるんです。
ええ、エンジェさんの帰る場所は私たちのいるここだけなんです。だから私たちは最後の1秒までここを守って彼女の帰りを待たなければならないんです。
留守をお預かりすることこそ使用人の役目。こうとなればこの号だ。もう覚悟は決まっております。
バトラ様、我ら一同すでに覚悟は決まっております。
シエスタ姉妹近衛隊一同、盟約に基づき最後まで大ベアトリーチェ教とご一緒するであります。
45、問題ありません。
Goat da. Yes.
最後まで戦います。ようやく似合いの死に場所を見つけたに。410、問題ないに。
煉獄の7姉妹、最後までベアトリーチェ様とバトラ様のおそばに。
The 6 younger sisters also showed their resolve with their eyes.
アイゼルネイ・ユングフラウ、最後までお供します。
Oh my god.
元 SSVD もいいぜ。
そしてあなたもどうか私たちに力を。
私？だよ、偵察してきてあげたじゃない。それで私は十分協力をしてあげたつもりだけど。
あなたはエンジェちゃんが図書の都の中にいるのをどうやって確認したんですか？
もちろんこの目でよ。私、自分の目で見たものしか信用しないたちなの。
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels like, those taters. Hi.
ということは、あなたは聖域である図書の都に入る資格を持っているということですね。
It is, it is. I was about to say that it feels like that moment before like the most important battle that the entire series has been building up to, and like everyone now is on the same wavelength and coming together. That's what it is.
大ラムダデルタ教は元老院の大魔女であらせられるぞ。
ラムダデルタ。
何よあんたたち、まさか私にもう一働きしろって言ってんじゃないわよね。
これは思わぬ出番だね。
図書の都に入ることができるのはラムダデルタ教ただ一人。
Yeah, I guess that's what we're building towards now.
ということはこれはまさにラムダデルタ教のための見せ場ということじゃない。
バカ言ってんじゃないわよあんたたち正気。私がたった一人であそこへもう一度侵入してエンジェを連れ戻してこいっての。
The several dozen people surrounding Lambda Delta all nodded in unison.
バカも休みお言いなさいよね。エンジェを助け出すってことはダイアウローラのパーティーをぶっ壊せってことよ。私に世界を敵に回せってこと。私に見返りはないわ、あるわけない。あんたたちに用意できるどんな見返りだってダイアウローラとその愉快な友人の化け物たちを敵に回すことと割が合うわけなんてない。
ダイアウローラとダイベルンカステルの目論みを台無しにしエンジェちゃんを連れ戻しみんなで和解するという
どうであるかラムダデルタ教。これほどのスリル他にはないぞ。それほどの大事を成し遂げればそなたも病を1000年は忘れることができるのではないか。
頼むラムダデルタ、俺たちに力を貸してくれ。
Please, please, we're begging you. Help us save Enje. Everyone clamored for Lambda Delta's help. They surrounded her and begged for her assistance.
どうか頼む。 ラムダデルタ卿、そなたしかおらぬのだ。
力を貸してくれ。俺がお前に最高の物語を見せてやる。そいつを最前列で見せてやるから。だから力を貸してくれ。
うるさい、黙れっつってんです。
Lambda Delta leapt to her feet and crushed the cup of popcorn in her hands. Sweet, candy-flavored popcorn flew everywhere and pieces stuck to everyone's face. It may have been a hilarious sight, however, no one laughed. Lambda Delta's face was filled with a rage that none of them had seen before.
勘違いしないでくれる？私は観客よ、観客！ベアトに招かれて、そのゲームを見物に来ただけの客人よ。その私が、なんであんたたちのために命までかけなきゃなんないわけ？ヘンジが帰ってきたらハッピーエンド？バカじゃない？怒り狂ったベルンとその軍勢が一気になだれ込んできて、ブチッと潰されておしまいじゃない。私がここにいる理由はたった一つよ。それは面白い物語が見られると、そこのリオンに単価を切られたから。そして私はもうじき、最高に面白い物語が見られることを信じて疑わないわ。それは排水の陣でベルンの軍勢と戦って、一人また一人と散っていく悲しい悲しい物語。全員に散り際の見せ場がありそうだもんね。それを間近でもうじき感激できるのよ。あんたたちはもうじきみんな死ぬの。でも私は違う。私は観客よ、客人よ。あんたも一緒に死んでくれなんて言われる筋合いはこれっぽっちもないんだから。
Okay. No one was able to say a word. In the still silence, with no sound except that of the rain, even Lambda Delta finally hung her head in dismay.
ごめんね。私ってば最高にかっこ悪いわ。そうよね。ここで私が任せておきなさいって胸を叩いたら、私の人気はうなぎ登りで、次の人気投票はトップ3くらいに入っちゃうかもね。
Vote for her. Aww. It's just, I wouldn't have expected this. That's why my mind didn't even go there, like at all. Because I feel like she's always been in this position where she wants to, or like her final goal would be to hit a standstill between whatever sides are involved, right? So she never really fully takes a side. So I wasn't expecting that to even be asked of her, but I mean, of course it makes sense because she's the only one of them who could actually do something actively. Lambda has my vote. Alright. Yeah.
でもね、私はあんたたちと違って、物語の登場人物じゃないのよ。死ねないのよ。あんたたちが深夜に、クライマックスはこれからだとか意気込んでるけど、私は明日、月曜で学校で日直で朝は起床が早いわけよ。住んでる世界が違うの。だからさ、私をさ、
Lambda Delta staggered as though dizzy, then plopped down into a chair. Top 3 Battler Beatrice and George. Alright. Then she became expressionless like a doll, just staring at a single point in space, silently. Battler softly apologized. However, Lambda Delta remained expressionless.
俺たちにできることも尽くさないのに、あんたにだけ何かを失うように強いるのはフェアじゃない。俺たちはここで戦い、最後の1秒までここを守る。エンジェが一なる真実よりも俺たちを選び、帰ってきてくれるかもしれない奇跡を信じて、それも尽くさないのに、あんたに俺たちと一緒に命を捨ててくれなんて 頼めるわけもない。
Battler rose from his seat and spun around.
バトラー。
見張りの2人と交代してくれ。俺が奴らと戦う時の先人でありたい。それが今すぐ俺がラムダデルタに見せられる俺の決意だ。
わらわも行くぞ。お師匠様はラムダデルタ教に新しいポップコーンを頼む。デアと演者は必ず帰る。信じねば実る奇跡も実らぬというもの。くじを買わねば当たることもないのだからな。
Beato also stood up and followed Battler.
みんな戦いに備え何かの準備をしよう。
賛成だぜ。ここでうつむいてたってバカバカしいぜ。
そうだな。最後くらい景気よく行こうぜ。
エンジェちゃんの帰る場所を守らなくちゃ。
私たちも作戦会議が必要です。
そうだな。家具に武具に悪魔に異端審問官だ。このちぐはぐ連合軍でうまく連携を取らなきゃな。
さあ妹たち、休憩の時間は終わりよ。シエスタ対起立。
The humans and the fantasy creatures all rose to their feet and left the arbor. Afterwards, only Lambda Delta remained, still staring blankly at the point in empty space.
いい香りの紅茶ね。インスタント？それともティーバッグかしら？
おや、同志エヴァもいかがです？カップはないのでロートになりますが。
A gold butterfly drifted onto the balcony and turned into Eva.
ベルンカステルの様子はどう？一なる真実の書の封印を解くのにまだだいぶかかるのかしら。
それを伝えに来たのよ。封印が解けたそうよ。
おめでとうございます。いよいよですね。あなたの人生のピリオド。
鍵を持ってベルンカステル教のところへお行きなさいな。
Ah, yes, yes, I agree. It's gorgeous. Let's, or is it in here? I think we can see it in here, right? There it is. It is absolutely gorgeous. It saddens me because, in a way, it's also kind of tied with this like negative state of her. But the dress itself is yeah, it's gorgeous. And it's dark blue. I love blue, so really biased there.
使い魔の猫が案内してくれるわ。
Two emerald sparkles flew in. They were the green, glinting eyes of a black cat. The cat flicked its tail elegantly, with the dignity of a high-class attendant.
わかったわ。じゃあ、ちょっと行ってくるわ。
Inja rose from her seat. She did it casually, as though she really was just heading out for a short trip. However, her lips would never touch her half-finished cup of tea again. Her morning outfit, I guess, yeah, it has quite a bit of black in it too.
短い間でしたが、
And
楽しかったです。
the headpiece makes it look like that the most.
同族嫌悪って感情を知ることができる貴重な時間でした。
私こそ次に会えたらどうやったらこんなにまずく紅茶が入れられるのか ぜひ秘密を教えてほしいわ。
嬉しい？私が12年間ずっと隠して意地悪してきた秘密がいよいよ知れて。
Okay.
嬉しいわ。今ならエリカの気持ちがわかるわ。あんたが死ぬまで守った秘密を暴けて、あんたに一矢報いてやったって気持ちになるもの。
それは気持ちのいいこと？
多少はマシって程度だわ。
Angel nodded towards the black cat to let it know that she was ready. The cat nodded back in a refined manner, indicated that it wanted Angel to follow, and leapt from the balcony. Without turning back, Angel followed it, jumping out into the air as though swimming. Eva watched her go. An expression of ridicule and scorn was not the one that crossed her face.
いってらっしゃい、エンジェル。それもあんたの選んだ道よ。あんたはもう6歳じゃない、18歳なのよ。自分の人生は自分で選択しなさい。
過保護なおばさまだことで。
私は式典の様子を見に行くけれど、あなたは？
もうじき出陣の時間ですので、船に向かいます。手土産にはベアとの屍を、腹渡はパーティーに。私は皮をもらえることになってますので、剥製を作りましょう。
Not even gonna address that one. Let's move on.
これで謎のベールに包まれた六軒島物語もおしまいね。
すると、その駒であるあんたもおしまいになりますね。
私はただの駒よ。駒の役目はゲームが終わるまで自分の役目に忠実であることだわ。ゲームが終わった後のことを考えるのは駒の役目じゃない。
そうですね。それは私も同じです。お互い今のこのひとときを楽しみましょう。では私もこれで失礼します。
じゃあね、お仕事頑張ってね。
After exchanging elegant bows, the two witches vanished at the same time. Nothing remained except some half-finished teacups and the aroma of the tea itself. Oh. One after another, luxury cars stopped in front of a high-class hotel in the city, and guests began to step out of them.
やあ、大月教授。おお、これは前回のコンベンション以来ですな。
All of the guests gathered here were very rich and cultured. A single lobby tied all of them together. They were the witch hunters, like-minded people who enjoyed exploring various interpretations of the Rokkenjima mystery.
しかし本当でしょうか。後ろ宮エヴァの日記帳が実在したなんて。
Cultured.
私も噂には聞いておりました。後ろ宮エヴァが死の直前に隠したと囁かれる秘密の日記。彼女は六軒島の真実をそれに密かに記していたと噂されます。まるで王様の耳はロバの耳ですな。人は自分しか知り得ない秘密を穴を掘ってでも口にせずにはいられない悲しい生き物なのです。何でも聞いた話ではドバイのコレクターが1000万ドルで買収を持ちかけてるとか。それはすごい。それだけロッキン島ミステリーが魅力的なことの証左ですな。
Conversations like this were breaking out passionately all over the place. Furthermore, the guests weren't the only ones pouring in. The press was also there in force. The Rokkenjima mystery had created such a large movement that, at one time, it became a social phenomenon. Though that had died down slightly in recent years, it was still a topic fiercely debated across the internet. It was hardly any surprise that the discovery and imminent release of Ushiromiya Eva's diary, which contained the truth of that mystery, had caused an uproar. And on top of all that, the mysterious forger... Naku Koro was to appear publicly for the first time. In fact, it seemed that Naku Koro and Hachijo Toya, the up-and-coming mystery novelist, were the same person. Of course, this meant that Hachijo Toya would also be appearing in public for the first time. The fact that she was actually an enigmatic female author, despite having been thought to be male, would have been enough to cause a stir on its own. How sacred. Yeah, I find this to be like a cool, like, let's say, somehow real-life parallel of what is happening in the magical realm, I guess. Like that part transposed into what it would be in real life. But then I find it even more ridiculous to make so much of a fuss and plan this big of a gathering without even knowing the main piece of information that's supposed to be disseminated. Okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, that's all good. Before the diary unveiling party, a press conference was held in one of the rooms of the hotel.
いかにも私が八条東也です。
先生は過去のサイン会においても影武者を立ててまで姿を現すことを拒まれてきたわけですが、それが今回こうして姿を現されたのはどういうご心境の変化からでしょ
う。六軒島の魔女伝説は無限の物語を生み出してきました。それが終焉することの意味を考えれば、物書きの端くれとしては姿を現す形で敬意を表するべきであると感じたからです。
偽書作家としての先生はネット上で真実に至ったと公言されておりました。それはつまりもう先生は日記の中身をご覧になっているということなのですか。
そしてそれはもうじき皆さんにも公開されることとなるでしょう。
She didn't answer the question though.
こう言ってはなんですが、日記の中に記された内容が真実であるとの保証はあるのでしょうか。
I guess so.
個人の私的記録に過ぎないといううがった見方もあるようですが。
いいえ、私が保証します。日記には真実が記されています。
A stir passed through the crowd, and the room was suddenly filled with camera flashes.
これにて八条先生の会見を終了いたします。報道各社の皆さん、本日は誠にありがとうございます。引き続きまして後宮エバ氏の日記の撮影時間に移りたいと思います。
A hotel worker pushed forward a cart covered by a veil. Then, after looking to Hachijo for approval, he removed the veil. There lay Ushiromiya Eva's diary. The book of the single truth sat there, waiting for its seal to be broken. Yeah, I don't know what red being used in a real life scenario means. I'm just rolling with it. Hachijo held it to her chest and laughed enigmatically. Camera flashes came from everywhere, making the book of the single truth glint.
以上で会見を終了させていただきます。それでは皆様、会場の方へ移動をお願いいたします。
Still holding the diary, Hachijo left the press conference room, escorted by men from the hotel. Yes, Moss-chan, exactly. Until she went through a door that said no entry unless authorized. The journalists continued to surround her and ask questions, hoping to gather just one more comment. When the door slammed shut, the world twisted. The hotel employees became black cats wearing capes. Hachijo had turned into Featherine. Yeah, I'm sure he can. What about gold? What about gold?
楽しめた？疲れる。だが悪くない。それにしても、この日記は重いな。
Featherine tossed the diary and Broncastle caught it.
私は少し控室で休ませてもらおう。出番なんてすぐよ。休んでる暇なんてないでしょ。では休むと言わず、久しぶりの興奮をかみしめる時間が欲しいと言い直そう。この本、借りるわよ。エンジに一番に見せる約束をしているわ。そうか。ならば好きにするがよい。
Featherine left, followed by her cat attendants. After watching her until she was out of sight, Broncastle disappeared as well. Like Erika's room, Broncastle's was a balcony without a handrail, dug out of a bookshelf cliff. Enja had been kept waiting for some time, but she had waited patiently, looking down at the world below her.
遅くなったわね。ごめんなさい。
After Broncastle appeared, the black cats gave a bow and vanished.
ほら、持ってきたわよ。一なる真実の書。
触れてもいい？
お好きになさい。
Broncastle set it on the table and beckoned Enja forward. Slowly, Enja approached it.
これがエヴァおばさんの日記。
そうよ。その中にあんたが知りたかった一なる真実が記されているわ。鍵は持ってるわよね。
ええ。ここに。
Enja took the key out, looked at it there on her palm, then gripped it tightly. Even that heavy lock that held the diary so securely was fated to be swept aside easily as soon as Enja readied herself.
せかさないわ。あなたの心の準備がついてから開けるといい。
この中には1986年10月4日と5日に何が起こったか。
そうよ。あなたが命と引き換えにしてでも知りたいと願ったすべてがね。
In that instant, inside of Enja, two Enjas appeared, taking control of her body at the same time. On the one hand, she knew that she had already paid a great price to learn the truth. This part of her gripped the key, wanting to act quickly to prevent the moment of hesitation that might lead her to refuse to learn the truth now. At the final moment... Oh my god, yeah, the music, Jesus Christ, my heart! What even is this called? What is this? Wait, I'm clicking the wrong button. This one. Bring the fate. Okay. Okay, bring the fate. Right, at the final moment with the book of the single truth right before her. On the other hand, a feeling that she was betraying the brother and family that watched over her warmly made her bite her lower lip. However, though she shook, she could do nothing but watch as her right hand slowly brought the key towards the lock. What am I hesitating for? Inside this diary, there's the final destination of my sad, painful, 12-year-long journey. Was 12 years not enough of that? Do I want to keep living that way? That Oni-chan and all those others, those are all illusions created by my heart. My naive hope that a miracle might still occur. If I put my two options on a scale, then the path I should choose is clear. How was that go? Okay. Slowly, I pushed the key into the lock and twisted. The lock opened with a click, and at the same time it felt as though a crack ran through the key in my hands. Maybe a part of its intricate design had broken off. I couldn't tell where it had broken just by glancing at it. However, for some reason, its golden glint seemed dulled somehow.
あんたがその鍵で選択をしたから魔法が一つ消えたの。何の魔法？
They wouldn't question rainbow text at that point.
バトラが言わなかった。その鍵はあなた以外の誰にも渡すことはできないって。そのあなたに選択を委ねるという魔法が今その役目を終えて消えたのよ。もうその鍵はただの鍵。この日記を開け閉めするだけのただの鍵よ。
そう。じゃあこのお兄ちゃんの鍵ももう用済みね。
もらってもいい？あんたが読んだ後にもう一度施錠するの。その錠前を開けるのもパーティーの立派なセレモニーだそうだから。
Okay.
そう。好きにすればいいわ。
I don't give a damn what happens after I find the truth. Bankaso slid the key from where it lay on the table and put it into her pocket.
ではどうぞ。真実を知ろうとするあなたの勇気が消えてしまう前にね。
I lifted up Aunt Eva's now unlocked diary. The lock was open. Even the hinge had been released by now. There was no longer anything standing in the way of me opening the pages within. I thought of taking a deep breath, however I decided against it. I prepared myself for this long ago. So stupid to fuel my reluctance further. I like Moschan's take. I opened it violently, ruthlessly. I have a pit in my stomach. I knew that this was the right way to open to the truth that awaited me inside. As soon as the cover was opened, a brilliant light poured out and my mind went hazy. The truth was sent to my mind directly without letters or words. Tell me, what happened that day on Rokkenjima? Yes, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. Oh, what's that a good one? My consciousness returned gradually. Nothing was written in the open book before me. Of course. This was my own blank and empty notebook. I was at school just sitting idly with my notebook open. The world had stopped. The hands on the clock had stopped too. In that case, the auditorium should have been filled with silence. However, I could hear a small commotion. In this world of suspended time, I could see dark shapes sneaking about behind the unmoving students. They were students with goat heads. They were sneaking glances at me from behind the frozen students, whispering something to each other. I know. I can hear them. Everybody knows. One after another, students with goat had slipped out from every conceivable hiding place. It's so creepy. They slipped around, all the students stopped in time and gathered around me. Then they all jeered out things in an endless stream, and possibly aware that I could hear, showered me with giggles and sneers and comments amongst themselves. However, nothing that came from the goats' mouths reached my ears as words. This was a world without letters or words, so no words reached me. However, their emotions and meanings did reach me. So I knew what it was they were saying. And then, when I was able to visualize it, this happened. One after another, the goats opened their massive jaws, showing their fangs that dripped with saliva, and came forward to bite me. Time was stopped for me. I was aware, but I could not move. Literally, that wasn't true. However, I was pretending that I couldn't hear, so I couldn't move. The goats bit me all over my body, leaving their fang marks, licking me. Great, fantastic sentence, love it. Maybe they didn't like the taste of my clothes. Taking advantage of the fact that I couldn't move, they chewed through my clothes one by one. Over and over again, the goats stuck their tongues, their jaws, their fangs into my naked body. Great! Wonderful! Wonderful! I was covered with drool and bitten all over! Bright red teeth marks were left behind as sharp fangs pierced my skin, leaving trails of blood. They licked up the blood like real goats, hurting and humiliating me. Amazing text. I wish I could just sink into the ground right here. As I hung my head, one of the ghosts pulled on my hair, forcing me to look up, and spoke. This time it wasn't conceptual, but words I could hear. However, they weren't words of the human world. They were a witch's words. The red truth, which signifies absolute truth. Who cares about the truth? So stupid. So pointless. I'm the one who gets to decide if that's the truth or not, right? Even if it's red truth, I won't acknowledge it, I won't permit it, and I definitely won't accept it.
赤き真実は絶対？誰にとっての絶対？あんたたちにとっての絶対でしょ？私にとっての絶対じゃない！私の真実はあんたたちの真実に汚されたりなんかしない！エンジ、落ち着いて。知りたいと願ったのはあんたでしょ？私の真実はエヴァおばさんが犯人。エヴァおばさんがみんなを殺したのよ。悪いのは全部エヴァおばさん。お父さんもお母さんもお兄ちゃんもみんなただの犠牲者。誰も悪くない。誰も悪くない。だってそうじゃない。だってそうじゃない。
Your aunt will always be on your side, Enji-chan.
あんたの言葉の意味そうよ、エヴァおばさん、あんたが犯人よ。あんたが犯人。それを認めない世界の方がおかしいのよ。壊れてるのよ。 正しいのは私は赤き真実を、世界の全てを否定する。
そうじゃああんただけに記せる赤き真実を記してごらんなさい。でも人間はどうやって赤き真実を記すの？
あるわよ。人間にしか記せない真っ赤なインクがあるじゃない。
Oh, what do you mean, blood?
演者さん、落ち着いてください。
正しいのは私、間違ってるのが世界。私が記してあげる。本当の赤き真実で私が真実を記してあげる。
20屋上支援大至急。演者さん、待ちなさい。早まるな、危ない。
グッバイエンジェル。Have a nice day。
記してあげる。これが私の記す真っ赤な真実。お前たちの世界の真実など私は受け入れるものか。
Inja's body went past the edge of the balcony. The air, which she had once been able to swim through, was now completely merciless for some reason. Inja's body plunged straight into the darkness below. Rancasso just watched the scene play out in silence. Behind her, men in black suits rushed up to her defense, clutching at them and screaming.
20演者さんが飛び降りた。ダメだ、ここからは姿が見えない。大至急地上を調べろ。無理だ、どうしようもなかった。ひょっとするとあそこの防護ネットに引っかかったかもしれん。調べてみよう。
What fools. If you jumped straight down from this height, do you really think such a flimsy safety net could possibly save you?
そんな奇跡、絶対に起こらないことを、この奇跡の魔女、ベルンカステルが保証してあげるわ。
Inja's body fell from the skyscraper-like bookshelf and slammed against the floor of the City of Books. There's a floor? I thought it went, like, down infinitely. Looking down from Bercanso's balcony, which was as high as a skyscraper's roof, could it have looked like a lovely red-pressed flower? It couldn't have looked like anything. In the same way that the death of a single lonely girl who rejected the world and died alone wouldn't leave an impression on any of the world's people. She probably died instantly. It was only natural. She had fallen straight down from such a height after all. Is it even conceivable that she wouldn't die instantly after something like that? The index finger on the right hand of her corpse was stuck out as though it had traced something. Could it be that by some impossible miracle, she really had escaped an instant death, and in her final moments, using the ink of the red blood draining from her, could she possibly have written her own personal red truth? However, no one would ever be able to tell what she had written. After all, the red blood pouring from her corpse had run over it all.
それさえもあんたの選択よ、エンジェ。
Eva was looking down at the beautiful flower of blood radiating from Inja's corpse.
私はあんたを生かそうとした。でもあんた6歳より先の未来を生きようとしなかった。だからあんたは 12年をかけてやっと元の場所に戻ってきた。
The eyes on Inja's corpse were closed. However, there was no way of knowing if this was a peaceful thing. Slowly, the corpse began to break down. By the end, it had become a messy lump of flesh, with only a few parts recognizable as human. It was hardly surprising. How else would she look after falling from that height and slamming against the asphalt?
あんたは死ねたわ。でもね、それで天国のみんなに迎えてもらえるかは別だわ。だってあんたはその天国のみんなを拒絶してここへ来たんじゃない。See you hell。いいえ、多分それはここだったわね。さようなら、エンジェ。
あらエヴァ、ちょうどいいところへ。お呼びでしょうか、我が主。そのひき肉のゴミを捨てておいてちょうだい。私はこれを戻してくるわ。
In Barcastle's hands was the key, which had lost its magic when Inja had made her decision, and the book of the single truth, which had been locked up again.
かしこまりました、我が主。
After looking down one more time, Barcastle vanished. Once she had gone, Eva summoned some cat familiars and ordered them to clean up. The black cats gathered Inja's flesh and scattered limbs and threw them into a tin bucket. Wonderful sentence. Even in this miserable form, Inja's soul was still living. Perhaps living is a poor description. She was unable to die. From now on, forever. She would drift along in the deepest depths of oblivion, covered by the dust of oblivion until she finally disappeared. She continued to question herself. What did the truth mean to her? What was right, and where was the place she could call home? As her flesh began to cool, even the energy to ask these questions began to fade. Ay. Eventually, she would forget her everyday memories and even the reason why she was suffering. However, there was one thing she would never be able to forget. That was the anguish. From this point forth, she would suffer endlessly without even knowing why. By the time the cats finished flinging her corpse into the bucket and dumping it into the sea of nothingness, Inja had forgotten even her own name. What's the sound I keep hearing? Yes, it must be the sound of rain. In that case, what are those two bright lights coming towards me? I don't know. However, they came at me with a screeching sound and stopped right in front of me. Okay. If you're hyped, I hope it's something good, because I really need it right now. A blaring noise came at me over and over. Whatever's shining those bright lights is threatening me. It's probably telling me to get out of the way. However, I was incapable of moving even a finger. There was a sound of a car door opening. Car door. Apparently, I was lying on asphalt under the pouring rain. I saw a figure, apparently the driver, open an umbrella and come towards me.
ここはそなたの庭か?
The figure questioned me. Of course I couldn't answer
そな
it.
たの庭ならば、私は謝らなければならないな。なるほど。このような良き天気の日には、昼寝としゃれ込みたくなるような素晴らしき庭だ。しかし、私の記憶が確かなら。
The figure crouched down and looked into my face. It was a woman.
ここは天下の講堂だ。
Sure, Seku.
そなたはひき肉になりたいのか、あるいはすでにひき肉なのか、どちらなのか教えてほしい。
I clenched my chest. I felt I needed to answer somehow and establish communication. So after a lot of effort, I managed to let the short groan escape my lips.
なるほど。まだひき肉ではなかったようだな。
And that was how I met Ikuko. To say this.
非常に衰弱しております。あと、記憶障害の可能性が高いですな。CT を見ないことには分かりませんが、脳にダメージがある可能性もあります。
ダメージ程度で済んで大いに結構でした。あそこであのまま寝ていればそれどころでは済まなかったでしょうから。は
あ、ですな。いずれにせよ大きな病院で一度見せた方がいいでしょ
う。ありがとう先生。この件は内密に。これはわずかですが往診のお車代に。
わざわざ他言はしませんが。
I see what you did there.
いやいや、こんなにたくさんいただくわけには。
In the end, the doctor took the money and swore to keep quiet about the matter. Eventually, Hachijo returned.
おや、起きていたのですか。具合はいかがです？
I nodded weakly, letting her know that it wasn't so bad for now. But where is this place? A room I have absolutely no memory of, in a house I don't remember at all. And first and foremost, here's a woman that I've never seen.
まずは私の自己紹介から。私は八条育子。親しげに育子と呼んでくれても、他人行儀に八条さんと呼んでくれても構いません。
八条育子。
八条家はこの辺りではちょっと知られた大地主の名家。出来のいい兄たちと違い、私はどこかずれた変わり者。いろいろと悪さが過ぎまして、とうとう親たちからも愛想をつかされて追い出され、今はここで蟄居をさせられています。趣味は推理小説を読むことと、そして書くこと。年は秘密の独身女。心は女子でも、そろそろそれを語るにはおこがましいかなという年頃です。
With the haze my mind was in, it was extremely hard to make out what she was talking about. However, I was able to pick up on the fact that she was trying to talk to me cheerfully.
それで、そなたの名前は?
My name. Logically, I know that being a human, I must have a name. And I do have the feeling that I did indeed have a name. However, no matter how hard I tried to remember what it was, it just made my head hurt.
何か名前以外に覚えていることは?
Who am I? My head, no, even my heart was a mess of torn flesh. And I couldn't remember a thing, not even who or what I was. But I must remember. I had some kind of purpose, or maybe a mission. In order to remember that, I first have to remember who I am. Who am I? What is my name? Where was I born and what was my birthday? I need to remember something, anything. An age.
年私の年は秘密です。
18. No, she's thinking about her own age.
私が18歳に見える
I'm 18.
ああ、そなたの年齢ですか。やれやれ、世辞が過ぎると思いました。
When I asked myself how old I was, the number 18 floated into my mind. To be honest, I didn't really feel 18. My mind felt much younger than that, and my pathetic body felt much older.
なるほど。そなたは18歳というわけだ。そしてそれ以上のことは何も覚えていないと。
I nodded weakly. I never knew that knowing nothing about yourself could make you feel so powerless.
では、そなたが自分の名を思い出すまで、18と書いて、トウヤと読む名前を与えましょう。
Okay.
八条トウヤ。いかがです？なかなかかっこいいです。自画自賛。
Hachijo Ikuko gave a satisfied laugh. From then on, I took the name Hachijo Toya. My inability to move my body was apparently due to a traffic accident. On that day, I had been hit by a car and Ikuko had picked me up from where I lay on the street. If she hadn't hit the brakes, she probably would have driven straight onwards thinking she'd run over a dead dog or something. Later on, I, perhaps rudely, suspected that the one who hit me might have been Ikuko herself. But when I saw her completely undamaged front bumper, I gave up on that theory. Hachijo Ikuko lived in a small but lovely mansion, on the top of a small hill, in a village with a view of the sea. She also owned the hill behind her, and was more than capable of enjoying the 4 seasons in privacy. As time passed slowly, my rehabilitation continued, and my ability to move improved little by little. However, it seemed I really had suffered some form of brain damage. Finding out who I was looked like it would be a very difficult task. In the beginning, when I couldn't bear not knowing my identity, my head often hurt so much it felt as though it would explode. However, as I slowly accepted the fact that I was a new person, with the new name of Hachijo Toya, the headaches became less frequent. The whole time, no memories returned to me except the fact that I had been 18. However, I was unable to remember anymore, unable even to be sure that 18 was my true age, and eventually I stopped trying to remember my former self.
おはよう、トウヤ。昨日はひどい嵐でしたが、よく眠れましたか？
I had some trouble falling asleep, so I decided to read your manuscript.
おやおや。どこまで読んでくれたのですか？
I finished it.
これは驚いた。あの量の原稿用紙を一晩で読み切ったというのですか？
I was surprised too. Once I got into it, I'd finished before I knew it. It was like I was just skimming it, or maybe like I was reading each page in a glance.
どうやらそなたは速読の心得があるようですね。して、どうでしたか？感想は。
I liked it a lot. Still, if you don't explain that part about the ocean currents a bit more clearly, it might be a little unfair for the reader. Oh, but I thought it was great that you had the foreshadowing with the ring right there at the beginning. After I finished, I had to go back to the beginning and slap myself for being so easily tricked. I think that Feeling's the best part of a detective novel. Did I say something to offend you? If I did, I apologize.
いや、なぜ謝るのです。驚いています。そなたの的確な感想は称賛に値するでしょう。そなたはどうやら批評家か、あるいは推理小説作家の才能があるらしい。
A detective novel writer. A critic. From across the fog of oblivion, I seem to remember myself fighting and arguing about mysteries, or something like that. That way of fighting, which I must have learned in the past, sent a surge of excitement through me. Mystery. Fighting. My head hurt. I accepted a painkiller and swallowed it with fresh water brought up from the well. Who am I, really? But no matter how much I thought, I couldn't remember. I was told that the frequency of my headaches could be lessened by brain surgery, but also that there was no guarantee that it would do my memory any good. Ikuko said that she would let me have surgery if I wanted it. However, I refused. Even if I can't remember it, the real me is still there, sleeping inside my head. I was scared that the surgery might harm that me somehow. By now, I've gotten used to dealing with headaches. As long as I don't force myself to remember the past, the headaches don't torment me every day. So bit by bit, I became free of the headaches and got used to my new life as Hachijo Toya. Gradually, my interest shifted from myself to Ikuko. Hachijo Ikuko. A very strange woman. First off, she was apparently the daughter of a very well-off family, just as she had said. However, she was considerably eccentric, and the various mischievous incidents she spoke of had apparently gotten her within an inch of being disowned. As a result, she had been given this house, and had been ordered to live here quietly and alone. She had never been a particularly social person, so she happily accepted this new state of affairs, living however she pleased with servants to take care of her. She had no friends. No one ever came to visit. Besides me, the only one she ever talked to was Bern, an old black cat she kept as a pet. I didn't know her real age. She didn't seem to be too old to marry yet, but she wasn't likely to meet anyone new leading an isolated life like this. Despite her insistence that she just hadn't met anyone worth the trouble, I felt as though she'd already given up on marriage. Her everyday life changed very little. She would either read through the many detective novels that were brought to her, or else write detective novels herself. At first I thought she was some novelist at a private retreat, plugging away at a new book. However, the manuscripts she finished just ended up clipped together in a pile. With me, as the sole exception, it didn't look like she gave them to anyone else to read. A novelist is someone who writes novels for other people to read. So I figured you could hardly call her a novelist when she kept writing novels no one would ever read. Ikuko-san, why don't you ever show these to anyone? It's so weird for me to read dialogue. What? But okay.
そなたには見せています。無論、出来のマシなものに限りますが。
Haven't you ever thought of sending one to some publishing company? It's a shame for things to be this way when your works are so interesting.
私の作品などプロには通じぬ。一度送ったことがあるが、さっぱりダメでした。私には分かっています。こんなもの、素人の道楽です。
I don't think amateur is a fitting word for someone who's so well versed in detective novels from all times and places across the world.
大飯ぐらいが良き料理人になれるわけでもない。推理小説を読み散らすことが良き推理小説家であることを保証するわけでもない。そういうことです。だからこんなものは
道楽に過ぎません。
Is it really fun to write novels that you won't show to anyone?
かつては楽しかった。かつては。
What about now?
そなたに感想を得ることが楽しい。とりあえず一章を書き終えました。お茶を用意させるので、また読んで感想を聞かせてもらえませんか?
Saying this with a smile, Ikuko thrust a pile of manuscript paper at me. When it comes to detective novels, reading and writing are the same. It's boring if you just do it by yourself. You only get something really precious when you share the world with someone else. Headache.
どうよ? しっかり。今頭痛薬を。
I'm fine. I'm more interested in this manuscript. I can't wait for the new chapter. The seasons passed, together with Ikuko in this town whose name I didn't even know. I spent my days debating detective novels and talking about ideas for new plots. At a glance, they may have appeared to be stale and unproductive days. However, I found satisfaction with my new life as Hachijo Toya.
"かようにして我が黒首と奇譚は幕を閉じるのである。亮。
With a dramatic flourish of her fountain pen, Ikuko signified that her manuscript was now complete.
どうであるか。そなたのプロットを生かしつつ、最後に辻子の悲恋をもう少し厚くしてみました。
I think it's very good. I think the last farewell is sad enough to make it moving as a story, not just a reasoning puzzle.
当夜のプロットがあればこそです。この作品の前には、私がこれまで書き溜めた原稿など、ちり紙の価値さえない。書きながらも、私が世界で一番最初の読者であることの興奮。こんな経験は初めてです。
I just mentioned some ideas. You're the one who turned them into such a fascinating story, Ikuko-san. Before I knew it, she had roped me in as well, and I too had dipped my toe into the world of detective novel writing. Apparently the old me had possessed some knowledge of mysteries and detective novels and the like, and my talent seemed to be of a fairly unorthodox kind. I turned famous mysteries from across the world on their head, always looking to twist those ideas into something new. However, a few ideas aren't enough to make a block. No meal is complete if all you can do is chop up vegetables. It was thanks to Ikuko's writing, a skill she had built up over many years, that my ideas were transformed into a work of fiction. This first work that we had authored together, The Strange Tale of Kurokubi Island, had brought out the best of our individual quirks. And though I hate to brag, it had turned into a masterpiece that we could show to anyone without shame.
もしもし、書斎にシャンパンを持ってきてください。グラスはあなたの分も。これまでで一番の作品が仕上がりました。お祝いしましょう。
What is she calling? Ikuko called for some champagne over the internal phone line. Joined by the servant who happened to be working that day and the cat Bern, we raised our glasses high and toasted our accomplishment. Right, so some random servant. Ikuko-san, I have an idea if you don't mind.
聞こう。そなたの話すアイデアなら、シャワーとトイレ中でなければ、いつだって耳を貸そう。
Why don't we try submitting our book? I've never read something this interesting before. I'm sure lots of other people will want to read it.
そうでしょうか。過去にもそう思い投稿しましたが、結果は。
I believe in your talent, Ikuko-san. What about you?
私とて、そなたの才能を確信しています。
Then it's decided. To Ikuko-san's big debut.
当夜のメジャーデビューを祈って。
We clinked our glasses once more. The evening wore on. I just want to let it play out. I don't want to jump to conclusions. Even if I were to, I wouldn't know how to justify them. I'm not entirely sure what everything that happened means. So, yeah. We must have had way too much to drink. Before I knew it, I must have passed out on the sofa. There was a blanket covering me. Ikuko-san must have put it there. The lights were out in the study, but it wasn't dark. The computer's monitor was glowing. Outside it had started to rain. It reminded me of the day Ikuko-san found me and took me in. Because of that, whenever it rains, I find myself wondering who I was. And I usually get headaches. So I wasn't sure whether the pain was because of the rain or because I drank too much. Ikuko-san, turn on the lights. Using a computer in the dark is bad for your eyes.
Oh yeah, 起こしてしまいましたか?
No, I slept well. Thanks to that, I feel refreshed. I turned on the light and looked out through a gap in the curtains. As I thought, it was the sort of pouring rain that always reminded me of that day. It's raining pretty hard out there. The wind looks pretty strong, too. I hope the rain gutters don't get clogged with leaves again.
先日掃除をさせましたから、当分は大丈夫でしょう。
Her answer sounded a little abstracted. Apparently her attention was absorbed by the computer. You've been pretty hooked by that computer lately, Ikuko-san. Did you find an interesting article or something?
バカバカしいとは思いつつも、なかなか面白いのです。ほら、例の六軒島事件。
Rokkenjima?
六軒島ミステリーの話は先日したでしょ？これが今、ネットでブームになっているのです。それをめぐる議論や考察、中でも義書が実に面白い。義書というのは付近の島に流れ着いた後宮マリアの署名のあるボトルメッセージが他にもあったと仮定して書いたもので。
Only too happy to share her knowledge of the subject, Ikuko continued her explanation at length. However, a huge bell was clanging inside my head. The noise was so great that I thought my head would split open. Unable to tell what was the floor and what was the ceiling, I crumpled and clutched at my head. My head hurts. The Rokkenjima explosion accident. The many disquieting rumors surrounding it. The scheming of the relatives after Ushiromiya Kinzo's vast wealth and the hidden gold. And the truth. Ushiromiya Eva, the sole survivor, said nothing. Eventually the granddaughter Ushiromiya Enje, who escaped harm because she was absent on that day, would inherit everything. Enje. Ushiromiya Enje. I am Ushiromiya. No good. My head is splitting. An incomprehensible scene pierced my eyelids from the inside, like a blade of light. Just what am I looking at? Who are these people calling to me, but not by the name Toya? Inje-chan. Who am I? Who are these people? What is this memory? Help me, Ikuko. Someone else's memory is hurting me. My head's splitting. I can hear the sorrowful sound of wind. And that must be rain. Who am I again? I am Ushiromiya.
Enji! Enji!
Hi.
お願いよ。返事をして。
Voices. Voices calling to me. I can't believe Ushiromiya Goda survived. Dad and Mom. It can't be them. In 1986 on Rokkenjima, Mom and Dad.
エンジェ、しっかりしろ。お父さんの声が聞こえるか？
I've never been happier to hear Rudolph's voice. I don't know why it gets me so emotional. Maybe because in moments like these I hear the Kiritsugu in it a lot clearer, so it kind of like it connects with a lot of other things.
お願いだから返事をして。返事。
Mom, Dad, I'll say it out loud. Mom, Dad.
エンジェ、エンジェ、よかった。
I could feel my body being lifted up firmly and hugged roughly. Mom and Dad were hugging me. My eyelids had been open for a while now. I could feel the light slowly returning to my eyes. Just like your eyes get used to the dark, my eyes got used to the light, and bit by bit the scene around me came into view. However, it was an unusual sight which seemed to be very far away. My body was being hugged by Mom and Dad. Dad was sniffling, his face covered with tears. There were tears in Mom's eyes too as she hugged me tight. It was so strong that it hurt a bit. I was the bad kid who wasn't obedient, who always had an excuse, and who always tried to do the opposite of what her parents said. That was why they were holding me tight, to make sure I didn't head down the wrong path. As my eyes adjusted, I could see other people besides my parents. Everyone was there. George Oni-chan, Jessica One-chan, Maria One-chan. My uncles and aunts. Even Sakutaro. And then there was the witch Vigilia and Ranoe and...
そなたは幸運だった。偶然にも虚無の海の波間を漂うそなたを見つけたのだ。ひどい姿であったぞ。そなた自身がその姿を思い出すまでに随分と時間をかけた。
ベアトリーチェ、じゃあここは
黄金鏡だ。ここでお父さんたちはみんなお前が帰ってくるのを待ってたんだぞ。
絶対にあなたは帰ってくると信じてたわ。
Did I come home because I was supposed to? Didn't I return to the form I was meant to have and then...
いや、お前は帰ってきたんだ。
そうよ。あなたが私たちのところへ帰りたいと願ったからここへ帰ってこられたのよ。
お父さん、お母さん、私は
今は何も言わなくていいわ。大変な冒険をしてきたわね。あなたは一人ぼっちで大変な冒険をしてきたわ。
これで分かっただろう。もう忘れないだろう。
I understand, Dad.
ここが お前の帰るべきところだってことだ。
When I gave that answer, Mom and Dad hugged me again. Hot tears fell onto my face. They were Mom and Dad's tears. Where's Beth?
無事でとはとても言えない姿だったけれど、よかったわ。帰ってきて。エヴァ、おばさん。私のことをいくらでも憎んでくれていいから。だからお父さんとお母さんに100万回キスをしてあげて、あなたのことをいつも思っているみんなにも。エヴァ、おばさん。あなたのもう一人のお母さんにどうかただいまと言ってあげて。
Mom gave me a push from behind and I stumbled towards my other mother.
エヴァ、お母さん。
エンジェちゃん。あの日、私がそう呼べていれば、私は何も謝ることがなかったかもしれない。私たちは新しい世界を二人で生み出せたかもしれない。もういいのよ。エンジェちゃんは帰ってきてくれたわ。だからもう何も言わなくていいのよ。
お母さん。
お母さん。おかえり、エンジェちゃん。あなたは私の可愛い娘よ。
エヴァ、お母さん。あなたはいつまでも、そして最後まで私の一番の味方だった。
The two of them hugged each other quietly, burying their faces in the other's shoulders and sobbing. The truth wasn't worth anything at all. In the first place, the truth is always in the past. The point of the future isn't to learn what happened in the past. What really matters is whether I truly live and prosper in the truth that is the now. How can there be any truth in a life not truly lived? Back when I only ever tried to see the truth of the past, I was nothing more than a ghost trapped in that past. Since that time, I haven't lived a single day. Now I truly understand. This is what real truth is.
私は生きるわ。そしてどれほどみんなに愛されていたかを思い出したわ。
Because I was young and selfish, I didn't even remember until now. The kind grandpa who always spoiled me. The entertaining aunts and uncles. All of the kind and gentle servants. It was always warm. And yet, because I was young and cruel, I never even tried to retain any of those memories. Everyone was distorted by my irresponsible imagination, and I completely forgot how things were. Now, I can remember clearly, and I understand. It's true that the Halloween quiz party itself was an illusion. We never did anything like that. But there were all kinds of other fun things we did do when the relatives gathered. Things that were no more or less fun than that party. Then, for the first time since the start of the game, I went up to each and every one of them to greet them, thank them, and apologize. To thank Grandpa for always pampering me. To thank my aunts and uncles To thank the cousins for always playing with me even though I was so selfish. And to thank the creatures of fantasy and apologize to them. I think I said something horrible to Sakutaro once in the past. And to Maria One-chan too.
マリアお姉ちゃんは本当の魔女だったんだわ。
マリアは最初から魔女だよ。エンジェだって一度はその領域に近づけたのにね。
本当の意味で分かってなんかいなかった。かわいそうなマリアお姉ちゃんのかわいそうな魔法、そんな風にしか見ていなかった。だから私には幸せのかけらが拾えない、見つけられない。かつてお姉ちゃんは私にそう言ったわ。
仕方ないよ。宇宙は二人で作らないと。マリアにはベアトがいたけれど、エンジェは一人ぼっちだった。
いいえ、もしエヴァおばさんをお母さんと呼べていたら、私は二人だったわ。きっとマリアお姉ちゃんと同じ魔法で私は新しい世界を踏み出せたわ。
すべてわらわのせいだ。わらわが面白半分に投じたボトルメッセージがそなたの未来に歪みを生み、そなたを蝕んだ。わらわにもその責任がある。
まったくね。あんたのボトルメッセージのせいだわ。そのせいであんたの真似をした偽書を書く連中が現れて、どんどんおかしな話が膨らんでいった。
However, the message bottles thrown into the sea by Beato did not name a specific person as the culprit. One of the forgers wrote a plausible forgery that had Ushiromiya Eva as the culprit, which spread like wildfire. I should have known better than anyone that it couldn't possibly be true, but even I accepted it in the end.
ベアトのせいじゃないわ。周りの誰がどんな邪推を重ねようとも、私の中の真実はたった一つのはずだった。なのに安易に私はみんなの温かな思い出を手放し、心を彼らに明け渡してしまった。
いやいや、そもそもわらわがボトルメッセージなど投じなければ、未来の六軒島はおかしな妄想の種にされることもなかったのだ。すべてはわらわのせいだ。
そうね、それもそうだわ。やっぱりあんたのせいだわ。
素直にそう言われるとカチンとくるぞ。わらわのせいだけでなく、やはりそなたも悪いのだ。
そうね。あんたも悪いし、私も悪いわ。でもお互い罵り合うのも馬鹿らしい。だって私は未来の魔女、あなたは過去の魔女。未来に生きる私はその魔法で未来を築くべきなのよ。私たちは共に何らかの責任を負うけれど、それを責める資格はどちらにもないわ。
エンジェならマリアージュ・ソルシエールの教えをきっと理解してくれると思ってたよ。
そうね。私はマリアージュ・ソルシエールの最後の一人としてお姉ちゃんの魔法を伝える義務があるわ。
マリアの魔法はみんなを幸せにする魔法なの。
うん、清らかなる魔法も邪悪なる魔法も思いのままよ。
本当ね。魔法は心の持ち方で全く違う姿に変わる。正しい導きがなければ正しい魔法は使えないわ。そして正しい魔法は人を幸福に導くわ。
素晴らしいことです。人を幸せにすることこそが魔女が魔法を振るう唯一の理由なのです。その教えをようやく我らが無限の魔女の系譜の最後の魔女に伝えることができて、 私は嬉しいですよ。
悪かったな。全然伝えてなくてよ。
未来の魔女エンジェ・ベアトリーチェ、マリアージュ・ソルシエールは今こそあなたの著名を解く。ウリューエンジェはきっと帰ってきてくれるって信じてたよ。おめでとうございます、エンジェ様。
あなたたちと共に旅をした日に、私は一度は理解をしたつもりでいたのに。ごめんね、本当にごめんね。
魔女は二人でなければ宇宙を生み出せぬ。未来のそなたは一人だが、本当に大丈夫か？
ええ、大丈夫。私はもう一人じゃないもの。私は生きるわ。みんなと一緒に。そして未来に生きる。マリアージュ・ソルシエールの魔法を伝えるために生き抜くことを誓うわ。マリアお姉ちゃんの魔法は私でさえ救ってくれたもの。魔法を必要としている人たちはもっと大勢いる。それを正しく伝え、一人でも多くの人々を救うことがマリアージュ・ソルシエールの最後の魔女の私の使命なんだわ。
それは実現できそうか？
もちろんよ。そのための力だってあるわ。私の先代様エヴァ・ベアトリーチェがたっぷりと築き上げてくれた黄金の魔法があるもの。私はそれを全て継承しているわね。
私がもう少し健康で長生きできてたら全部使い切っちゃうつもりだったんだけどね。
As Enja laughed, tears poured from her eyes again. Everyone surrounded Enja with their kind, warm smiles. I kept wondering, where's Battler in all of this? Battler stood alone in the rose garden maze, letting the rain quietly fall on him. After searching for some time, Enja found him.
お兄ちゃん。
Enja, who was feeling guilty, sensed anger in her brother's expression. So, she thought he was going to hit her. Why? So she shut her eyes tight. However, her brother touched her softly. He patted her head gently. Pat pat.
な。真実なんて大したもんじゃなかっただろ。
うん。お兄ちゃんはこんなにも暖かな世界でずっと私の帰りを待っててくれたのに、私だけがずっと背を向けていたから。
お前は真実を知ってしまった。
うん。
だから誰かが生きて帰ってくるかもしれないっていう奇跡や希望は。でもお前にはもう未来を生きるための新しい希望や使命があるな。
お兄ちゃんがその温かな希望を守ってくれてた。それを私が自ら開いて逃がしてしまった。パンドラの箱より始末が悪いわ。私は知る必要のない真実も、そして希望までも全て逃がしてしまって、全てを空っぽにしてしまったのだから。
No, there's always hope at the bottom of the box.
いいさ、開けちまったなら 仕方ねえさ。それで空っぽなら後腐れがなくていいじゃねえか。
だって
下手な希望はかえってトゲになることもあるしな。
Butler laughed heartily. Then, with that same smile on his face, he told her,
俺たちはもう死んでる。ひょっとしたら生きてるかもしれないって希望がお前の12年間を生きる糧にしてくれた。それはもうこれでおしまいだ。きれいさっぱり全部なしだ。
分かってる。これからの私は新しい人生に踏み出すわ。
ベアとは六軒島を猫箱に閉ざし、次の魔女のエヴァおばさんはその猫箱の蓋を生涯守った。その次の魔女のお前はその蓋を開けちまったがだからって何だってんだ。過去の真実なんてどうでもいいことじゃねえか。
ええ、私はこれから真に生きる。そして自分だけの真実を結実するわ。
頑張れよ。マリアージュ・ソルシエールの最後の魔女。マリアの魔導書を読んだぜ。あれはとてもいいことを書いた素晴らしい本だ。聖書だって翻訳がいるならマリアの魔導書にだって翻訳がいるだろう。お前がそれを翻訳するんだ。そしてかつてのお前と同じ境遇の子供たちに伝えてやれ。それがお前の新しき未来の魔女の使命だ。俺はいない。でもお前の後ろにいつだっていて。
知ってるわ。お兄ちゃんだけじゃないわ。みんなも一緒よ。
俺もみんなもずっとずっと永遠にお前を愛してる。それを忘れるな。
忘れないわ。絶対永遠に。
Angel leapt into Battler's chest and sobbed. Humans are sad creatures who can learn but not unlearn. She had already learned. It was a cruel, terrifying, merciless thing, capable of destroying even the miracle called hope. However, there was still one tiny fragment left gripped in her hand. Her family's love. If Enja could just remember that love and hold on to it tightly, then she could surely live on. She could stop herself from taking that single step into nothingness.
それに六軒島の猫箱はまだ完全に開かれたわけじゃない。お前が中身を覗いちまっただけの話だ。だからお前が自ら蓋となれ。そして今度はお前が猫箱の中のみんなを守るんだ。俺や親父やキリエさん、いとこのみんなやおじさんたちおばさんたち、じいさまや使用人のみんな、幻想の住人のみんなをな。
うん。今度は私がみんなを守らなきゃ。
ならそれは急いだ方がいいんじゃない？
From the other side of a rose bush came the sound of popcorn being eaten. It was Lambda Delta.
あんたも知ってると思うけど、ベルンはもうじき 一なる真実の書をパーティーで大公開するわ。会場には天国から地獄から異界から別世界からあらゆる世界の面々が集まってる。
Worrying addiction.
そこで中身を公表されたらもう何もかも手遅れよ。
私行くわ。ベルンカステルにあの鍵を渡してしまった。私の責任だわ。私が行って取り返してくる。
図書の都にか。しかし入る方法がない。あそこには結界があるんだ。
あいつがこれをくれたの。これがあれば自由に出入りできるって。バカなやつね。私を捨てるとき回収を忘れたんだわ。
Enja fished through her pocket and there was a jingling sound. It was a bell with a blue ribbon tied to it.
それよ、招待状と引き換えに渡される図書の都の臨時入館証。それがあればとりあえず一人は図書の都に乗り込めるわね。まあかけらの海を誰かが送ってくれればの話だけど。
ラムダデルタ、私を図書の都に連れてって。
エンジェ。
それが私の責任の取り方だわ。私が一なる真実の書の公開を食い止める。
本気で言ってんの？あそこは化け物中の化け物の服までよ。ベルンの庇護を失ったあんたなんてハエ以下のハムシ扱い。ベチッと叩いて潰されておしまいよ。
The bell was stolen from Enja's hands.
ラムダデルタ、そこには俺が行こう。お前は俺を送ってくれるだけでいい。どうせ俺は猫箱の中にしか存在できない虚無の存在だ。だがエンジは未来に生きなくちゃならない。そしてお前だって未来ある存在だ。だから俺が行く。俺には何も失うものなんてないんだからな。
いいえ、これは私の責任。そして私のけじめ。私が自らの手でやらなきゃ未来は何も変わらない。そして未来の猫箱を何も救えない。
Enja tried to snatch the bell from Battler's hand, but Battler had no intention of giving it up. The two of them were grimly serious, but from the sidelines it just looked like an ordinary squabble between two close siblings. Lambda Delta watched this conversation and shrugged. If she just had to take either one of them to the City of Books, she wouldn't have to make any enemies, and there was no risk to her. All she cared about was which one would make the story more interesting. Nothing else. But then, she finally noticed.
Stop!
Oh no.
あんたたち、ちょっとストップ!
Oh no, 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 the music stopped too. No, no, what's happening?
何よ、後にしてよ。
今兄弟で大切な話をしてるんだ。
まずあんたたち、その組み合ってる手を解きなさい。鈴はバトラが持ってるのね。バトラ、跳ねてみて。
跳ねる？こうか。
Okay.
次、エンジェ、跳ねてみて。
なんで私まで。どうして？
If Battler was holding the bell, where did that sound come from? Enja hurriedly searched through her pockets. When she did, another blue ribbon bell came out of a different pocket than the first one.
それ、これと同じ鈴だよな。
そんな、どうして2つ？私は1つしかもらわなかったわよ。
Okay. I'm having thoughts, but who knows?
どうしてかなんか知らないわ。でもとにかくあんたは図書の都に入れる鈴を2つ持っている。よってあんたたちの仲睦まじいやりとりをこれ以上見ている必要がなくなったわけ。
The pair of them gripped their bells and looked at each other.
最初から今回のゲームはあんたたち2人のものだわ。ただ対決するプレイヤーには若干の変更があったみたいね。 あんたたち2人が競い合うゲームじゃない。猫箱をめぐって蓋を閉ざそうとするバトラとエンジェと、それを開こうとするベルンとの戦いだわ。エンジェはベルン側からバトラ側にチームを変更した。それだけの話。
ナムダデルタ、俺たちを図書の都へ連れて行ってくれ。
分かってるわよね。連れてくだけよ。あとは今度こそ感激者に徹するからね。あんたたちが図書の都で何をどう戦ってどうベルンにコテンパンにされるかをじっくりたっぷり間近で感激してるだけだからね。
Not a third time, please. Okay. Yeah, we've had enough of that. Okay. Oof. Siege of the fleet. Fourth. Okay. I've lost count of it then. Please, no. Oh, hello. Shannon and Cannon stood guard in front of the door to the Golden Land. How does this look like? Can I read, like, I don't know, partially for, I don't know, 10 more minutes or something? Or would it jump into something that is better experienced fully next time? What do you guys say? 10 more minutes it is then. They glared quietly and fearlessly at the eerie fleet of ships across the horizon. Shannon slowly lifted her hands. Wanna see Erika? Okay, okay. Cannon also raised his right hand, and the blade that trailed red appeared there. I'll like what I see. Okay, you're hyping it up. Okay, okay. Let's do that.
そこで止まってください。それ以上の接近を拒否します。
それ以上近寄れば切る。
They could see a single... Yeah... Dinghy? How do you read that? I don't know boat terms. Okay, I'm so sorry. Leave the fleet and approach them. They couldn't tell if it was a messenger or the first wave. Shannon and Cannon watched it cautiously. Hello. At the head of that thing rode by goats stood Erika. Where she had gotten that headgear from. Is that like a pirate cat symbol? Is that what it is? Erika put peak fashion into peak fiction. Maybe she was trying to act the part of the fleet's leader. Queen of Pirates, Erika. The object on top of Erika's head, as she glared at them with an audacious smile, appeared to be a pirate hat.
最後通帳に参りました。交渉余地のあるものです。開門してください。
Shannon and Cannon looked at each other. Erika was the one offering this deal. It wasn't likely to be anything agreeable. However, if they turned her away, the attack would probably begin at once. Since they were in a firmly inferior position, they wanted to buy time by any means they could. Note how their positioning switched. Cannon used to be on the left and Shannon on the right, but okay. At Shannon's nod, Cannon raised his sword. The Golden Land was filled with the hard downpour accompanied by occasional thunder. Realizing that this weather spoke for their emotions, Erika smiled even more boldly. At the center of the Golden Land was the arbor surrounded by the Golden Rose Garden. A large number of humans and fantasy creatures were there arguing about something. Even without asking, it was easy to guess the nature of the debate by their anguished expressions. After all, in this life or death situation, they didn't have many options they could take. In the direction Erika was being led, with her goat guards alongside her, Beato stood waiting, accompanied by the Chester sister troops. Noticing Beato, Erika gave a bow that at least appeared graceful. Beato followed suit and gave the sort of graceful bow that was rarely seen from her. As though hinting that she was more than ready to go through with this farce, Beato introduced herself boldly and requested that Erika do the same.
尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女により厳選されし名誉ある図書の都より派遣されてまいりました。私は図書に名誉と保護を与えし司書の艦隊司令官にして真実の魔女フルドエリカと申します。どうぞお見知りおきを。
要件を聞こうぞ。
お喜びください。我ら図書に名誉と保護を与えし司書の艦隊はあなた方に名誉ある朗報をもって参上しました。一つ、図書の都は無限の魔女ベアトリーチェによって生み出されたゲーム版を名誉ある厳選されたる図書に認定されましたことを報告いたします。
ほう、それは名誉なことである。
The feathers on that hat, though, like, ow. I guess I didn't notice them properly when the goats were around or something, but now against the green and the yellow, they stand out much more. So ridiculous. They're so pompous.
このゲーム版は非常に興味深く、かつ独創的で研究価値の高いものです。すべての市民に公開される価値のあるものです。よって図書の都は我らにこのゲーム版に永遠の名誉と保護を与えることを命ぜられました。
くどいし長い。とっとと本題を言え。
本ゲーム版のすべてを名誉ある図書の都に譲渡することを要求します。これは本ゲーム版とその駒にとって最高の名誉と保護です。
嫌だと言ったら
全ての市民に共有されるべき名誉文化を私的独占する罪で告発されます。我々はあなたに対し全ての市民の権利と利益を保護するため攻撃を開始することを通告します。
その攻撃で市民の共有財産が破壊されるのは構わぬの。
名誉図書保護法の規定により名誉文化私的独占を犯す犯罪者がこれを盾に籠城を試みる場合、執行官隊は大法院の許可を持って保護より逮捕を優先することが許されます。もちろんすでに大法院の許可状はこちらにございます。
ついでにその逮捕は生死を問わぬと書いてありそう
だね。おや、よくこんな小さい文字が読めますね。では、茶番は以上です。ぶっちゃけどう？
そなたの要求を飲むとどのような利点があるという？
お互い無駄な仕事をしなくて済みます。そしてあなたの勇敢にして名誉ある行為は図書の都にて誉れ高く終章に記されるでしょう。分かってますよね。あなたは絶対勝てません。これは戦いでさえない。井戸の底で上を見上げるあなたに石をぶつけるだけの一方的なものなのですから。
Yeah, because they give us the copyrights on your game board. Yeah, pretty much.
わらわに選べるのは 図書館の魔女たちがわらわの最後をいかに記すかだけというわけか。
あとはあなた次第です。もしあなたがこのゲーム版を愛おしく思うなら報復すべきです。駒たちは末永く大勢の市民に愛され、その役目を永遠に続けることができるでしょう。
I don't know. I don't even know if I want to know what treasured by our many subjects for all time means. I will assume it's not a good thing.
つまりは好き放題に生み出した惨劇を永遠に繰り返すということか。
あんたがしてきたことと何か違いが
ないな。以上か。ならばわらわの答えを聞かせる。
どうぞ。
Not a chance in hell, please. Erika tensed slightly. After all, this was the great Lady Beatrice she was dealing with. She might shout, "Here is my answer," dramatically and do something crazy. They say a cornered rat is the most dangerous. Furthermore, Erika had intel telling her that the great Lady Lambda Delta, Witch of the Senate, had been spending her time inside the Golden Land, though only as a theater goer. Erika needed to carry out this noble task that her master had assigned her, and she had to carry it out perfectly. If she was honest, she wanted to make Beato raise a white flag, even by trickery, if necessary. So even though this was a farce, she held back from giving any unneeded provocation. She gulped and tried to size Beato up. And then, with a pathetic expression on her face, Beato let out a sigh.
素直に言う。わらわはもう疲れた。
それはどういう意味です？
わらわのゲームはバトラとの戦いを終えた時点ですでにその目的を終えている。なのにその後の都合で何度もゲームが繰り返されたのだ。わらわは正直もう疲れている。
正直全く想像していないお返事でした。では降伏なさると？本気で？
ぶっちゃけるとどっちでもよい。降伏でもそなたらに討ち取られるのでもどっちでもよい。わらわは誰の手であっても構わぬからこのゲーム版とその物語が幕を下ろすことを望んでいる。
Yeah. Of course, that was a lie. She knew she couldn't win even if she fought. For now, their best option was to play for time. They would fix Erika's attention to this spot, and during that time, Battler and the others would steal the key from Burn Castle, where she was completely off her guard. Once they had the key, they would return to the Golden Land, use that key to let Enji open the door to the future and see her off. That was their goal. Everything after that would be inside the cat box. Enji would live on into the future with hope. No one would know whether Beato and the others were alive or dead. That was enough. The only strategy Beato and the others could use to achieve this was to buy time.
降伏してくれるなら拍子抜けではありますが、私も手間が省けて助かります。
ところがそう綺麗にはいかんのだ。ここだけの話なのだがそなたも存じておろうが大ラムダデルタ教がご滞在されている。今日は我らにドラマチックなクライマックスを提供せよとだな。
それはひどいわがままですね。10万の兵力を要する我が艦隊にすでに解き終えたパズルみたいな絞りかすのあんたたちがほんの数十人で。
Ah, the language, holy heck.
どう抵抗をさせようというのです？
そうなのだ。戦力差は圧倒的。戦いにさえならぬと我らは言っておるのだがな。 ラムダデルタ教が彼女の友人たちを集めて共闘するから徹底抗戦せよと言って聞か。
ラムダデルタ教のご友人。
Unlike Bernkastel, who kept to herself, Lambda Delta had many friends. Her friends and patrons were all formidable, including monsters that had become legends in their own lifetimes, and territory lords commanding vast influence over their respective domains. In all seriousness, her fan club, as she so called it, had enough size and influence that no one would have been overly surprised if it had suddenly declared itself an independent nation right in the middle of the Sea of Fragments.
困ったことにラムダデルタ教はやる気満々でな。さっきから勝手に各地に電話を繰り返し友人知人を呼びつけておるのだ。
Of course, this was all a lie. Lambda Delta had turned into a small candy comet. Oh, that's cute. I would love to see that. A small candy comet. And was now shooting towards the City of Books with Battler and Ninja in tow. So to make sure that Lambda Delta's and Battler's absences were not noticed, everyone was crowded around the arbor pretending to argue furiously with each other.
バトラ様、ご決断を。我ら煉獄の七姉妹、いつでも死ぬ覚悟はできております。
Candy comet, like the star bits from her galaxy? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I would love to see the visuals of that. I'm sure someone drew some fan art somewhere.
玉砕には反対だ。死んで咲く果実などありはせんよ。
あなたは腰抜けです。生きて旅衆の恥ずかしめを受けるなど考えられません。
生きてこそチャンスを待てることもあります。
そうですとも。短期は損期とも申します。
マトラ、男ならバシッと決めろい。大ラムダデルタ様が力を貸してくれるってんだろ。
どうかんや。男には決断の時があるんやで。
決断は選んだ内容よりも選んだ時を称賛されることもございます。
降伏すれば乱暴はしないかも。
そんなことあるわけないわよ。あんたそれでもオスライよ。牙はどこに行ったのよ。
どうせ死ぬなら豚としてでなく狼として死にたい。
あんたバカ。そういうのを犬死にって言うのよ。
ラムダデルタさんの呼び寄せる援軍の力次第です。
ラムダデルタさん、本当にあなたのお友達はあいつらに勝てるだけの力があるの？
賭けね。降伏して死ぬか、賭けに出て敗れて死ぬか。
あら、なら賭けに出た方が生き残れる可能性は高いってことになるわ。
大本院は名誉ある降伏には慈悲を与えるでしょう。
バックは元老院だろう。どうせなんだかんだ言って全員断頭台に決まったら。
とにかく皆さん冷静に頭を冷やしましょう。私は事を荒立てることには反対です。
君こそ冷静になるべきじゃないかい。相互確証破壊という戦略もある。仮に勝てないにせよ、こちらもただで済ます気はないという戦略は相手への抑止になるよ。
つまりよ、そっちがやる気ならこっちもただじゃ死なねえぜってことだぜ。
ラムダデルタの友達はみんなすごいよ。みんなすごい伝説と武勇伝を持つすっごい魔女や怪物、悪魔や神様がいっぱいなんだから。あんなお船が星と同じ数を並べていたって一息で吹き飛ばしてしまうよ。
大丈夫でしょうか。私たちの演技蹴取られないでしょうか。
問題ない。お前ももっと語気を強めて喋るのだ。無礼講に行け。
腰抜けどもめ。
最後に一花咲かせてやろうという気概はないのか。
私は降参が良いかと思います。痛い親方様、演技出すので、あいたたたたた。
さあさあ、議論も盛り上がってきたね。は
あ、私たちは幸福かしら、当選かしら、どうなのかしら。それは誰にもわからない。
個人的にはどうせ役目を終えるのなら、せめて自分が生み出したこのゲーム版はそのままに保存されることを望む。
Alright. Is the right to live it around here? Because I'm assuming this keeps going. So we've kind of established more or less what's happening. Or what their approach is. Yeah. Okay. That was fun though to see to see them pretend bickering. That was fun. Alright. Yeah, alright, cool. Thank you for confirming. There we are. Siege of the Fleet. Ay. That's where we are. The episode 3-esque shenanigans continue. Okay, looking forward to that. Here we are. Funny scene to make up for the early days. Yes. At least we reached the point of like, not necessarily good vibes, but lifted spirits. Poor Goda though. Poor Goda. 2 more streams before overwriting saves. Oh, that's okay. That's alright. I just make them separately just in case I ever need to go back to the point of a previous stream, but it's never really been the case so far, so it's alright. Maybe there won't be more than 2 saves, and I don't know. I have no idea how much is left. You have a better sense of that than me. My mic is peaking just a little bit. Yeah. The rest of episode 8 marathon, let's go. I don't think I can. Even just 2 hours and a half in the past 2 weeks, it's been, each stream has been a lot to take in. Future tears, huh? I just recovered from the tears of tonight. I don't want to think about future tears. Pirate Erica. Pirate! Oh, that's so good! That's so good, man! It took me a second, but then I got it, yes. When I said it out loud, I understood. Yeah. What can I say? Can't argue against the hat. No other intricate costume has any power there. The hat overwhelms and overtakes everything. With the feathers thing. Oh my god. Yeah. Hey. Thank you. I like them too. I have earrings too. Yeah. It was just like, it was a little whim. I just thought, I don't really own much green jewelry stuff. Why don't I get some? And here we are. Yeah. Nail polish is also new, in honor of the whole thing. Thank you. I see, Moschen. That's a mouthful though. All right. I'm glad we reached more positive point, I guess. I don't know if positive is the right word, but like I'm glad we didn't leave off in the depths of despair, because I was really low back there. Like an hour ago, I was yeah. But now it's good. It's good. I can ride this this feeling until Tuesday, when we meet again to continue this. Yeah. And for now, we will say good night. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always so much fun to share this with you, including the Umi pain. What can you do? It's part of the experience. Has Lambda climbed my rank? My ranks? You mean in terms of me liking her? Is that what you're referring to? Well, don't be upset at me, but I for a while already, I have liked her more than Burn. Sorry. Yeah, she does things on a whim and stuff, but whenever she applies herself, I guess, she really comes through, and she's had some really cool moments. So yeah. I didn't really like her in the beginning. She felt very annoying. But now I see her. I guess that's the way to say it. I kind of understand her. I can see past the squeaky voice and the noisy kind of annoying attitude. Or at least I perceived it that way, but now I understand it a bit better. So, yeah. Burn, she needs someone to heal her heart. She's really there in the depths of there are no miracles and everything is darkness, and yeah, I'll take my own pain and despair and paint over the world with it, and everything will be the same for everyone else. Kind of, it's just kind of, that's how I see her. It's just kind of like in that mode, and I'm not saying there's nothing redeeming in her, because I'm sure there is, as there is in every single character in this novel. I just, at this point, I'm not really vibing with her that much. There were moments in the earlier days where I thought she was cool, but now the way I kind of see her is like, unfortunately, a stray cat that has been hurt too much and now only knows how to hiss and scratch at everyone, with or without reason. So if she has some sort of moment of like getting past this point and shows, like, opens up a little bit more, I am not closing the door on her, on liking her more, but I would need her to have some sort of moment, if that's okay. Kind of how I was with Beto as well in the beginning, because I just couldn't get past the whole facade, I suppose, of how she is so much so much. But as I learned a bit more, yeah, I like her now. So Bernie's Ikuko's cat, yeah. Beto has had 50 streams to redeem herself. Bernie will have 2, 3. Aww. Like I said, the door is not closed on her, but I need her to give me something. And if it's only 2, 3, that can work for me. I'm not that picky. Yeah. Alrighty. Wait. Sounds like she'll need a miracle. I wouldn't say that. At least not in my eyes. She doesn't really need a miracle. Right? That's a little bit. It implies a lot. I just need a little something. Yeah. Alrighty. Thanks so much again for joining. Read Higurashi to learn the meaning behind her name. Okay. We'll think about that. At the moment, I'm oversaturated on Umineko. Maybe sometime in the future that will be on the table too. Yeah. Okie dokes. Good night, lovely peeps. Thank you so much for joining me. You're always so much fun to share this with, so let's keep going. Until next time, take care of yourselves and have a good end to your weekend, a nice weekend. I know I will. Yeah, leaving with positive vibes. I hope you feel the same. Take care, love you all, and see you on Tuesday.